All right, we got to Sibiu a couple days ago and just kind of been catching up on our rest and relaxing. But we're finally heading into the old city center, and as we're coming along, I noticed there was a little placard on this building. It stated that in the late 1700s, this what was, or it maybe still is, called the Thick Tower, was converted into a theater. In 2007, actually, this place was given an honorable mention by UNESCO for their renovation on that old theater in that old tower. So that's pretty neat. But as you see, as we walk towards the gate here, or the wall, there's another plaque which was very similar to the one I was just reading, that I'm assuming is going to give us a little information about this wall itself. So there is in fact another placard here. Unfortunately, it's not in English, but it looks like it's stating that maybe just this wall itself is what did you say?
Circa 16 to 1700s.
16 to 1700s it was erected, possibly. We're unsure of that, but assuming since it's plastered, or since it's posted on this wall, it's in reference to the wall itself. But yeah, we're heading in now. We're gonna go check out some of the sites here and see what we can get thrown on here for you guys. Really neat wooden walkway here between these two bastions, most likely, I'm assuming, for soldiers back in the day to man the wall. There's what looks like some slits up there for arrows or something to that effect, or maybe just viewing arrows. But just more views as we enter into the old city center. We're actually heading back into where we first saw that thick tower, and then we're going to head inward and try to find the big square and some of those more notable sites that you'll see as you look up things to do here. Looks like this is the front of that theater that I was saying they had turned that bastion or that tower back there into. Right, just here looking at the list of shows that are coming up. So that's pretty neat. If you're interested in something like that, you can always check out the internet, or, well, I wouldn't depend on the internet, but maybe check out their post, or just swing in here and see what kind of shows they've got going. All right, here's a view of this beautiful square here. This is actually one of the bigger squares I think we visited in Europe. But before I swing around and give you a view, this building here, just next to the, what'd you say it was?
The council house.
Council house. This used to be an old bank and they renovated it. I'm assuming it's different office buildings now, but if you see there, they've got the little information sign. If you enter in, there's a woman, or at least there was a woman in there today, who was very welcoming, very friendly. She spoke English fluently. She was able to offer us a pamphlet on the square itself, and also several other pamphlets with information in regards to the area. But yeah, so there's that building. Maybe stop in there when you first get here.
It's really beautiful inside.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, also there's a bathroom, so we used the restroom, which is always convenient because it's a public restroom. And the building itself had a lot of glass and a lot of really neat architecture inside, so it's worth, stopping in, grab some pamphlets, use the restroom, and check out some of that architecture. But here I'm gonna pan around and show you some of the rest of this square here. And of course, if you've looked up anything about Sibiu, you'll see that there's the houses that have what people refer to as like squinting eyes watching you. It's actually kind of neat. Where we're staying at our Airbnb, the house across the street has that, just two of them. So it's like every time I'm on the little patio having some coffee or relaxing, the little house across the street is staring at me. But yeah, this is a pretty large, nice square here. It's very quiet. What is today?
February.
We don't even
21st?
know what day it is anymore.
It's the 21st of February.
No, but what day is it?
Oh,
See, we don't know. We don't
Thursday?
know.
Friday?
I think it's Thursday or Friday. So you would think it'd be a little busier considering it's coming to the weekend here. But yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty calm, pretty relaxed right now. Looks like maybe mostly locals. I don't think there's too many tourists here right now. So yeah, we're just gonna walk around and see what we can see, and show you a little bit of more of Sibiu while we're here. Well, we scored some spots on these benches actually that are lined all along this building here, and as we were sitting here, we noticed this statue here. So Rachel took the time to look up a little bit about it. You want to go over there and see if we can remember what we just learned? All right, so who is this guy?
So his name's Georgi Lazar, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Let's see, I'll get
not.
it right here. I think that's a reasonable pronunciation.
Cool. So he's just, he was very significant because he started a trend of teaching in Romanian, and at the time, he was around in Habsburg times, They were teaching in Greek, which of course the peasants and the farmers and stuff didn't know. And he actually was a farmer and peasant and then became educated. And he actually studied as a theologian, but he had some very radical ideas. So he is actually a big promoter of secularism.
Nice. And what were you saying about...
So there was a statue here earlier, and nobody really liked it because it was put up by the communist regime, and it was very communist-like.
probably really square looking.
Yeah, I
So-
would guess so. I mean, that kind of looks a little communist to me too,
Right.
but apparently it's less than it was. But
So
I
we're
couldn't
thanking that's
find-
the replacement of
I
the
think
statue
so.
that was here originally and that people didn't like
I
it.
think so, because there's a date on it from 2005. Let me stand over
Hello.
here. So I don't know if I tried to find images of the
The old
previous
one?
and I could not find it. So if anybody has them,
Huh.
share them. Let us know.
For sure. But yeah, that's that. We're going to keep heading around here and see what we can see. All right, we just exited out of the the large square. And just as we exited under this little tunnel, we saw this door and a set of stairs that I'm assuming leads maybe up this tower. We're going to enter in and see if we can actually go up or what the deal is, but we're going to head up now. All right, so as we entered, we saw it's too late, so my head up, I've already given Rachel some money. Sounds like some music up here, so there's got to be somebody up here to greet us as we come around the corner. But yeah, it looks like maybe a little spot here. All right, we just got our couple of tickets. We've just come up a little bit of the stairs, and we're just in here where the little ticket office is. Looks like maybe there's some artwork and maybe some type of cultural works displayed. We're gonna head in here and see. Yeah, it looks like here's a little bit of artworks. And then there, actually, just behind Rachel is a set of stairs that looks like it proceeds upward. Pretty interesting works. Not really much information in this room, but there is this guy. I think he's there in case you try to steal money. He cuts your head off. A little bit more artwork here. Looks like some clocks they've got. They're also jamming ABBA, so take that for what it's worth. It looks like some more stairs to head up here. Little view from the window as we progress upward. The space actually inside this tower is... There seems to be a lot of space, huh, babe? I mean, each little tier we go up, there's more room for artwork. I'm assuming there's always some type of artwork displayed by the way they have these rails, I'll call them, along the walls. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Not all of the artworks that I saw were labeled for price, but most of them are. So that one's, let's see, $240. I guess that would be roughly around €60 or something like that. Probably all local artists and things of that nature. And then just above us is another tier. I'm assuming eventually we'll get up to that top tier and we'll be able to see out a decent view from up there. But just wanted to get a little bit of the interior as we progressed upward. Here's a little bit of the beam work in here. This beam is kind of sagged, and then they've got these spacers in here basically for the raft, I'll say, or beam that runs across for the next level. They've kind of got it spaced in there. Pretty cool. Is there a view out that little window?
Just a little one.
A little tiny guy, let's see. Not much, but little view there. All right, so it looks like this is the mechanism for the clock itself. Oh, cool, look at that. And that must have been, I'm assuming, either a minute or 30 seconds ticking by there. But you can see this rod runs out of that little hole there, and I think maybe that's what's turning the arms out there. Pretty cool. See if I can get that with a little less glare. Sorry, so much glare, but pretty interesting either way. All right, looks like we're on the top floor. I had to come back down so I could climb up and get the reveal. Excuse me. Oh, look at that view. So there's actually 4 viewing points from this tower, and I'll kind of just walk along real quick and show you each of the views. Wow, look at those mountains. Babe, did you see the mountain range over here? Come check it out.
Okay.
There's the big square that we were just in. More of the mountain ranges there. And here's this fourth view here. Thank you. Pretty nice views all around. Very beautiful. It was, I did the math. So 2 lei, it comes out to roughly like 42 cents euro. So, I mean, it's definitely worth it. Drop a couple lei, come up here, check out these beautiful views, check out the art. There's not too much information up here, but either way, you get a beautiful view of the city and the surrounding area and the mountains. There's a little bit more view of that mountain range. I wanted to zoom in so you could really get an idea how awesome it is. It looks like the peaks of those mountains are just floating up there. It's awesome. I'm probably going to reference this wrong, but if I remember correctly, the tower we've just exited out of was referenced as the council tower, and I think that was in relation to its being in such close vicinity to the council house. So I think that was why it was referenced like that. But the reason I wanted to show you, and the reason I'm not sure about that, my fact checker is actually using this restroom that's in between that tower and what is just around the corner there is the Liar's Bridge. But as the ramp slopes out of the center here, or at least away from the big square, there is a toilet. And why I'm adding this toilet is, it's a public toilet that is free. And that is, I've noticed, kind of a rare thing here in Romania. Maybe in Europe in general, they usually try to charge you like 50 cents or something to use the restroom, and public restrooms aren't as abundant as you would like. So remember that there is a restroom here, and the facilities were actually fairly clean, and there was just a couple of older women in there that I'm assuming tend to it, and they were very friendly. I walked in and asked if there was a fee, and she was kind of like, no, go ahead. And I was like, great, you got it. So that was awesome, and we're gonna go ahead and continue down this way and check out the Liar's Bridge. All right, my fact checker returned from her mission from the bathroom, and I was right about the tower, by the way. But what were you saying to me? For women to be prepared?
Yeah,
or maybe men in general, depending on what they're planning on doing in the restroom?
Sure. So that bathroom was free, like AJ was saying, but there's no toilet paper. I'm guessing maybe you have to pay for that. But if you're like me, that doesn't matter.
Bling, bling.
Prepared everywhere you go, and I think that's a good idea in general, not just in Sibiu. Wherever you go, bring along some wipes, because toilet paper isn't always guaranteed.
And Sammy.
And hand sanitizer, for sure.
So just as you walk along, keep your eyes peeled, because these little plaques are everywhere. This one's just saying that this used to be the old butcher's hall. It looks like maybe now it's just like some type of souvenir store, or art store, maybe bookstore type thing. But we're just heading over actually towards the Liar's Bridge here. It's a little crowded at the moment, so we might hang back or come back after a bit, and we'll tell you about that. Here's the Evangelic Church here. It sounds like they've got a lot of construction going on over there. I'm not sure if you can enter in and see the whole of the building, but it looks like just here on this fence it says entrance, and there's a little door there that's open. So maybe we'll head over and see if we can get inside. But very beautiful building. I mean, it's old, but the roof's very beautiful. The architecture's beautiful. Just needs a little coat of paint, that's all. So we did enter into that entrance where it said entry there, assuming that's what that said. I'm pretty sure that says entrance. In that room, it was a very small room, and there was just a couple of women. There actually wasn't much to see in that room. I did ask her, or at least I tried to relate to her in Spanish if that was all that was open. She said yes. I believe she had a good understanding what I was trying to relay. So it seems as if, for the most part now, only a small portion of the church is open, and it may only be specifically for worship purposes, but it looks like they've got quite the extensive renovation going here. So hopefully here, maybe in a year or two, depending, I'm not sure exactly how far along they are here, but should be quite a beautiful renovation they've done here. Check out this guy. He's over here trimming down that wood. Pretty awesome. He's doing it on site. All right, that large group that was holding it down on the bridge here, I think it must have been like a student group. It looked like they were being chaperoned, but they've cleared out. They just passed us while we were over there looking at that basilica. So we're just gonna come right back here to the Liars Bridge. I didn't gain too much information on this bridge, but basically it was something like if you stand on it and lie, it'll collapse, right? Wasn't that basically about it?
Sure.
Did you not read about this one?
Well, I read that if merchants had disputes, they would come here, and if you were found guilty, you'd get thrown over. And if your wife was caught cheating, not the husbands, mind you, but if your wife was caught cheating, you could throw her over the bridge as well.
Yeah, but I think one of the like lore was if you lie while you're on the bridge, it will collapse. So you have to always tell the truth. But I find it funny either way. If people were throwing people off this bridge to punish them, that's pretty cruel because it's not killing anyone. I doubt it's even maiming or hurting anyone. Really, it's not a high enough height for anyone to be damaged. But yeah, here's a little bit of that. Just kind of the city kind of exits out this way, and this road kind of flows down and heads towards the lower part here, just underneath this bridge here. Step back over here so I can get a better view of the actual whole bridge here. This is one of the main tourist attractions, or at least when you look up things to do here, this will certainly always pop up. It's just a little bridge. I mean, I'm not sure how much you want to go out of your way to see it, but I'm assuming you will most likely come across it in your journey. So there's that. It's going to be here for you. All right, I think this was like the ironworkers spot or something to that effect. That says 2004, and until I saw that, I would have thought that maybe this was apprentices marking their having been here with a little bit of work they did. But either way, some of this stuff's pretty neat. Little different ironworks that people put up here. Sorry if this isn't coming out very good. It's been cloudy and I haven't been getting the best lighting. But hey, I'm recording from my phone. What are you gonna do? So I'll say I'm impressed with the city's placement of all these information placards. I'm not sure exactly the relevance of the stair passage, but that's what is here. It's quite a nice little, I'll call it quaint. Quaint, that sounds nice. Quaint little passage down into the lower part of the town here, I guess. We're going to head down that way and see what we can see down that way, but yeah, keep an eye out for all these little placards, man. They're everywhere, and there's really good information on some of them. All right, just at the bottom of that set of stairs I was just showing you guys, we found a little pizza restaurant. It's actually incredibly relaxing, awesome vibe in here, so I'm not going to spend too much time on my camera because I don't want to interrupt the other people. But I'm going to get our food ordered, show you the prices, show you the food. When we leave, I'll tell you what we thought. All right, I decided for sure I'm having beef soup, which was roughly $4.50, so 20 lei, roughly 4. And then I decided either the lamb roast or candied guinea fowl. Where'd it go? This one. And those are about 50 lei each, so that's roughly €10 each. What'd you decide?
I'm gonna do the mangalista pork with potato pie, sage, and sausages.
So that's about $10. Are you gonna do a starter?
I think maybe this green salad with lemon dressing.
How much is a salad?
About $3.
$3, you said?
For a side salad. They have like legit salads for more. But
Nice. So seems like you can get a really decent meal for under €10. Maybe we'll decide on a drink and maybe a dessert when we're done, and we'll add those on. But for now, I think we're gonna get those meals. All right, real quick, I wanted to cover. We each grabbed a glass of wine. We actually requested some natural water, and they brought us some in a carafe from the tap, which is not something generally we've ran into in our travels in Europe, especially not in Romania. But here's another random thing I wanted to cover. You'll see this in all the menus here, and I finally asked, and it is apparently basically telling the it's basically stating that the proprietor has to give a receipt to the patron. I'm not sure if they can face penalty or what comes out of it, but I think this is more specifically for the restaurant itself. So interesting little fact there. Here's my delicious little beef soup I got. Dip down in there and give us a stir from the bottom. Oh, that's nice. And Rachel just got a little basic salad there. Really good though.
some lettuce, but the lemon dressing's good.
And really nice looking vegetation, actually. Nice and green.
Some fresh, not wilted or anything.
Yeah, for sure. Let's grub out. All right, here's my guinea fowl. I've never had a guinea fowl. I'm not sure what these little garnishes are.
They're so cute. They're like little lily pads.
Right? They almost look like ginkgo, but not ginkgo. And then this was Rachel's. What kind of pork was it?
Mangalista, I believe, which is like a special Romanian breed of pig, and I looked it up, and they're actually really cute and have a really furry, curly coat.
And now she feels bad about eating that pig. Yeah, they're the really furry pigs. So if you've ever seen like a furry Hungarian pig, that's the type it is. But we're gonna dig in, and we'll let you know what we thought. All right, Rachel's dying because I was like, wait, I gotta get this dessert. All right, we just got a simple brownie with vanilla ice cream. It looks like, maybe some homemade vanilla ice cream.
It's delicious.
And that was only like €3. I think it was 15 lei, so €3 for a nice little brownie and ice cream dessert. All right, we just left the restaurant. If you're interested, it's at the base of the stairs there, just here. That friggin' food was delicious,
It was so good, and it says it's a pizzeria, but I'm sure the pizza was delicious. But have the pork, oh my god, it was so good.
I was like, let's go in here and grab a pizza, and then we sat down and we're like, we don't want any of this pizza. They had, you had your pork. It was so good, huh? It was like smoky and like falling off the bone.
It was delicious, and then like a potato and sausage pie.
Yeah, it was weird, huh?
Buttery and flaky and delicious.
I had guinea fowl.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It actually tasted like a really slow fall off the bone marinated pork. Sorry if I'm shaking. It's a little cold now.
It's a bit cold.
I think we acclimated to being inside. Now we're freezing. But yeah, the guinea fowl was insane. Everything was really good.
Yeah,
like
the wine
soup,
was good.
the wine.
Dessert was good. The service was amazing.
The service was awesome. The ambience of the restaurant was good.
Restrooms were clean.
We ended up having 2 glasses of wine. We had soup and a bowl of, and a salad, 2 main courses, and 2 brownies with ice cream, and it was like $40. I think we tipped the guy like €6 or $7, so it came out to roughly €50, let's say. It was awesome.
Yeah, worth every penny.
Well, we finally got a nice, beautiful, sunny day. And we decided we would come back down to what they have labeled as the lower portion of Sibiu, and we kind of just continued through, and we found this market here. Looks kind of like a lot of the stalls are shut down, but it's, I think, like 4 in the afternoon.
I think so.
So these are probably...
On a Monday?
Yeah, on a Monday. So this is probably more likely an evening, an area that's going to be more lively or active in the morning. But yeah, if you're curious, come check out the market. It's just outside of the lower portion, or perhaps even in the lower portion. I'm not exactly sure where we are at this point, but looks like they've got all types of different things. Looks like they have some textiles, veggies and stuff, as you can imagine most markets usually have. But it's worth swinging through and checking out. Maybe grab a fruit if you want a snack, or grab a little textile or whatever if you want a little souvenir or something. There's probably something to check out. Either way, it's definitely a little experience to come through and see what the different vendors have, and get a different view of the city. Just back up there is the Liars Bridge. So if you come down from there into the lower portion of the city, there's this little park here. Sorry, there's this disgruntled man on my left yelling, but I didn't catch what that plaque said. Actually, I'm gonna go back and not let that guy that's being disgruntled distract me. I don't think it's in English though. Everything here is in Romanian and German, which makes sense if you know a little bit of the history of Romania. But this is a nice little square here, a little tiny thing, huh, Rachel?
It's so nice.
Is it?
Except for Grumpy Magoo.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been really great sitting here.
I don't know what that guy's problem is. He better not start yelling over here. But yeah, it looks like there's quite a bit of seats here just in this little area. You can have a seat and relax your feet and just check out some of these buildings that are, of course, in the style of Sibiu, as it would be. Very beautiful, though.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome that the sun came out. Now there's literally not a cloud in the sky, so that's a plus. See that nice bright sun behind me. It's been really cold. In fact, actually this morning it went from being sunny to being cloudy, then it hailed, then it snowed, then it rained, and then it did like a sleet, and then it cleared up, and this is what we have now. So we were actually just kind of like chilling and hoping it would clear up, and it did. So we figured we'd run out and grab some more views as we walk around. Well, we learned a good lesson in our last couple of ventures between cities here in Romania. Some of the platforms that we were using to get information as far as buses and stuff have been wrong several times, which is quite frustrating because we've spent money to get to train stations or particular areas to catch like a train or a bus, and that train or that bus actually didn't exist. So we actually came over to the bus station, which is just next to the train station here. Well, we were exploring the map and we saw this big green belt kind of out of the way of the old city center, and we decided we'd come check it out. It's quite an extensive green belt. If you look on a map, you won't miss it. It starts as a thin slit and just opens up into this big natural park. And I believe, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it was Sabarin, or at least something to that effect. It looks like quite the extensive trail system through here. I saw that there was like a big fountain. I think we'll maybe go find that. And I think there was, public restrooms and other things that you would find in a park. So always find your public restroom when you're out. But yeah, we're gonna check it out. What do you think? It's pretty nice so far.
Yeah, it's nice. This little creek here is beautiful.
Yeah, really, it's this is probably the second day that we've been here that it's actually been sunny.
Right, and like the first day that it started sunny and it just continued.
Right. Yeah. Actually, she's right about that. Usually it's like raining in the morning, then maybe the sun will come out. But today we actually awoke to a sunny day, and so far it's remained that way. But we're going to continue to walk around and hope we can get some decent views as we go. So I saw this little placard, and the reason I found it interesting, they've got ginkgo biloba in here, babe. Is I believe, and someone tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is a hummingbird moth. And the reason I thought that was interesting was I wanted to point this out, and maybe this is a silly fact that a bunch of people already know, but hummingbirds, oh nice, there's the ginkgo tree, but it's bald.
And it's huge. I've never seen one that big.
Oh wait, back to my factoid.
Yeah, go back.
Hummingbirds do not exist outside of the Americas. You will never see a hummingbird in Europe. And those who claim they have seen hummingbirds have in fact most likely seen a hummingbird moth. So there you go. Here's that nice shade we modded. What would you refer to that as, like a bandstand?
It would be an awesome bandstand.
Right, like a bandstand, huh?
I'll go with that.
So here's this park, which is, this fountain, which I've noticed actually a lot in our travels in Europe right now. All the fountains are down. I'm not sure if that's because they usually expect such severely cold weather that they would just freeze up anyway. But a majority of the fountains we've seen are all off. But there's a nice playground area if you've got children here, and just more of the extensive trail that leads through this park. Quite a lot of birds in here making a lot of noise right now. But yeah, there's just all kinds of seating areas in here. It's quite a beautiful day. I think we're up to, I think it was like 57 when we left, and it was going to get up to like 61. So we're just kind of out enjoying this beautiful day. What do you think about this late Valentine's Day the Romanians have?
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
So we just wandered back into the old city center because we wanted to come back in. As you noticed in the beginning of the video, when we were in the city center, it was real gray and cold, and it was a very beautiful, clear day today. So we basically came down an area that we had already visited, but there was all these little kiosks and tents going up, people vending stuff. They actually started putting them up yesterday. So we were curious because it looked like Valentine's Day stuff to us, and so I looked it up, and I was actually right. So if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it is Dragobete, which is okay. So I'm gonna try and remember what I just learned. So he is very similar to Cupid or Eros, and he is in charge of coupling animals at the beginning of spring, and also they say that his arrival springs like signifies, it was like the flocking of birds to find partners, which I guess would be in relation to him coupling animals. What else did we learn? Anything?
It could be dated back to ancient Dacia times, which is like old, before Greek, before like Thracian times. So maybe that's where we get our Valentine's tradition from. You know, maybe that's kind of what it stems from, even though
Right.
it really, nowadays, it looks like it's exactly the same thing.
Right. It had something to do with farming, and maybe he bring like he would signify like the coming of spring or a proper time to plant. I forget. It was something to that effect. But very interesting. They have their own little take on Valentine's Day, and so you're aware, it's actually today's the 25th, and this day was apparently celebrated on the 24th. So very interesting. They celebrate their Valentine's Day or their holiday in the style of Valentine's Day a few weeks later than the rest of us. It's always nice to throw down a little bit for a busker and get a little bit of music as you're walking through the streets. It's got a little bit of a folk sound to it, doesn't it? I wanted to get a shot of the main square here at night. We're actually going to be probably going back to our room and doing some laundry and calling it a wraps on this video, because we are going to be heading to, I'm going to get this wrong, it's
Come on.
Iași?
Yash.
Iași, which is just on the border of Moldova and Romania. But we're going to take a bus tomorrow, so if you're curious, stay tuned to the channel. We'll be putting our trip by bus to Iași and also our experience there as we go along. Thanks for watching if you stuck with the video all the way through, and we do appreciate it. Thanks.